I was standing in my apartment this morning holding my coffee and just staring at my dining area. And I had this moment of, I don't know, confusion because on paper, I have a dining room. I mean, I did the math. I bought a table. I bought 4 chairs. I hung a light fixture that didn't look too terrible. Equation solved.
You checked all the boxes. You have a machine for eating.
Exactly. It's a functional machine. But here's the thing. It feels dead. It feels like a furniture showroom on a Tuesday afternoon. And then I think about those spaces you walk into, maybe a really nice hotel or that one friend's house who just has it all together, and the room feels complete. It has a soul.
You want to stay there.
You just want to stay there. And for the longest time, I couldn't figure out what the variable was. Why does one room feel like a waiting room and the other feels like a home?
That is the million-dollar question in interior design. And usually the answer isn't about how much money was spent.
Well, today we're going to try to answer that. We are digging into a fascinating stack of notes and articles titled The Architecture of Intentional Dining Rooms. And if there's one word I want to tattoo on my forehead after this, it's intentionality.
It's a powerful concept to anchor us. The core argument in this source material is that we often misunderstand the dining room as a collection of objects.
Right, the shopping list.
The shopping list, exactly. Table, chairs, rug. But this deep dive argues that a truly well-designed space isn't about the furniture pieces. It's about how every single element works together to create what they call visual clarity.
Visual clarity. That sounds a little abstract. It sounds like something a minimalist monk would say. But as I read through this, I realized we're not just talking about decluttering.
Not at all.
We're not just saying throw your stuff away.
No. Visual clarity in this context is about reducing the noise so the signal can come through. It's creating a space where your eye knows where to go. So the mission today is to break down the specific design levers, from light hitting a wall to the quiet drama of texture that transform a static room into a unified composition.
I love that phrasing. So we're going to act as architects today. We're going to build this room sort of layer by layer. And the goal isn't just to impress guests, is it?
No, and that's a critical distinction. The source emphasizes this is about creating a backdrop for life. It's about how the room makes you feel when you're just sitting there Tuesday night eating leftovers.
Does the room hold you, or does it feel like you're just floating in space?
Exactly.
So let's get into the weeds. We need to start with the foundation. And the source starts with a design tool that I think 99% of us completely overlook. We're worrying about paint swatches, but the text says the most influential tool is already there: daylight.
It's the absolute starting point. The source explicitly calls natural daylight one of the most influential design tools in a dining space.
Which, to be honest, feels a bit like cheating. I mean, the sun is just there. I can't really design the sun. I can't move the windows in my rental.
Right.
So why do they put so much weight on this?
Because people treat light as a passive utility. They think, oh, I have a window so I can see my fork. But the text argues that light is active. It's an architectural element.
It changes.
It changes. Think about how the sun moves across a room from morning to evening.
Yeah.
It's not static. As the angle changes, it highlights different textures, it softens colors, it completely alters the mood.
Okay, so it's less about having light and more about how the room catches the light.
Precisely. The source mentions that daylight reveals the true character of finishes. Imagine you have a textured plaster wall or a table with a deep open grain. In flat, overhead artificial light, those things look two-dimensional. They look like a picture of wood. But with natural light raking across them, they pop. They have peaks and valleys. They feel grounded.
So the light is what makes materials feel real.
Yes. Without that interaction, your expensive furniture just feels like superficial objects stuck in a box. With the light, they become part of an atmosphere.
Okay, so if light is the stage director setting the mood, let's talk about the lead actor, the table. The text calls the dining table the emotional and visual center of the room, which, I mean, that feels like high pressure for a piece of furniture.
It is a heavy burden, but think about it. The table creates the gravity of the room. And this is where I see people get tripped up constantly.
Oh, so?
When people want to make a room feel designed, there's this temptation to make the centerpiece loud. Complex legs, high gloss finishes, ornate carving.
Right, you want a statement piece. You want people to walk in and say, wow, look at that table.
But the source advises the complete opposite. It suggests focusing on proportions over ornamentation.
Meaning the size and shape matter more than the decoration.
Exactly. The table sets the rhythm for the entire space. If the table is visually chaotic, the rhythm of the room becomes jagged. It feels restless. The text strongly suggests using natural materials to introduce warmth and authenticity.
I really highlighted that section on refined detailing. It says refined detailing keeps the look visually calm and timeless. So the table should be strong enough to hold the room, but quiet enough not to scream at you.
Think of it as an anchor. An anchor doesn't need to be flashy. It needs to be heavy and reliable. A table with a strong, quiet presence allows everything else, the people, the food, the conversation, to circulate around it.
It provides stability.
Yes. If the table is screaming for attention, it's hard to hear the conversation, visually speaking.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so we have our anchor. Now I want to look up, because if the table is the center, the lighting above it, well, the source says it defines the room vertically.
This is such a crucial architectural concept. We often think of floor plans, 2D space. But a dining room is a volume. It's a cube.
Lighting isn't just about illuminating the table, it draws the eye upward. It creates a vertical axis that connects the table to the ceiling.
And here is where I think I've been doing it wrong. The source makes this massive distinction between brightness and atmosphere. I feel like most of us buy a chandelier thinking, I need a bright light so I can see what I'm cutting.
Yes, and those are often conflicting goals.
Yeah.
If you have a blindingly bright chandelier, the ones with 12 exposed bulbs that just sear your retinas, you wash out all that beautiful natural light.
You lose the shadows, you lose the texture.
You flatten the room.
It becomes an interrogation room instead of a dining room. So what are we looking for?
The source suggests a fixture that is sculptural, controlled, and intentional.
Sculptural. That implies it needs to look good even when it's turned off.
That's the key test. During the day, when the light is off, does the fixture contribute to the composition? Does it occupy that space beautifully? It's a piece of art that hangs in that vertical axis.
It's not just a utility, right? And when it's on, it should complement the daylight, not try to overpower it.
I love that. It's not fighting the sun, it's dancing with it. Okay, speaking of composition, let's talk walls. Because this is another area where I think people default to one of two extremes.
The fear of the blank wall is very real. It's horror vacue.
It is. It's either just paint it white and forget it, or let's do a massive gallery wall because I'm afraid of empty space. But the source uses a phrase here that I absolutely love, quiet drama.
It's evocative, isn't it?
It sounds like a genre of movie I would watch. But what does quiet drama actually mean for a wall?
It means relying on texture rather than decoration. So instead of covering the wall with small pictures to hide it, you treat the wall itself as a beautiful surface. Think textured finishes, plaster, lime wash, maybe wood paneling.
So the wall isn't just a blank canvas waiting for art. The wall is the art.
In a way, yes. The source describes walls as active participants. They should respond to light.
Oh, back to the light.
It all connects. If you have a flat, matte, drywall surface, the light just hits it and stops. It's dead. But if you have texture, those tiny ridges in plaster, the grain in wood, the light catches them, it creates subtle visual movement. The wall changes as the day goes on.
So it makes the room feel alive without being loud. It creates that depth. And what about color? The text warns against going too crazy here, doesn't it? It suggests decent composed tones.
Or richer shades. You want depth. But the key word is always restrained. The real insight is that it's the interaction between color and texture that gives the walls presence. If you pick a loud, screaming neon color, you kill the texture.
Ah, okay. The color shouldn't overwhelm the room. It should feel deliberate.
Deliberate. That really is the word of the day. It's not just picking a color because it's trendy. It's picking a color that works with the light and the texture to make the room feel visually comfortable.
And that visual comfort has to extend downward, too. We have to talk about the floor.
The floor. The unsung hero.
Or the villain. I lived in a place with a high-contrast checkered floor once, and I swear it made me dizzy. It felt like I was eating breakfast on a chessboard.
That is exactly what the source warns against. The text calls the floor the visual grounding of the room. If the floor is busy, if it has a loud pattern or a jarring color, it destabilizes everything on top of it.
It feels like the furniture is floating on a turbulent sea.
Exactly. The source advises a neutral, refined floor. A calm floor allows the furniture and the decor to take priority. If the floor is screaming for attention, you can't appreciate the sculptural chair or the beautiful table leg.
It's the foundation. If the foundation is visually shaky, the whole house falls down. Okay, let's put something on that calm floor. Chairs. I have such a love-hate relationship with dining chairs. They're either comfortable and ugly or beautiful instruments of torture.
The eternal struggle. form versus function.
But the source says we need duality.
We do. Seating must support long gatherings. Comfort is non-negotiable. If the chair hurts, the dinner party ends early.